somebody. Hallelujah. We should be standing before them. But then we have this good Samaritan that sees this same man. And what I like about the Samaritan is that the Samaritan was not liked by the Jews. He wasn't liked by the church people. So I'm going to say this was a sinner. And we toot our nose up at the sinner. I keep putting my hand in my pocket. Hallelujah. We toot our nose up at the sinner as if we better than the sinner.
You better stop it, I say.
And the sinner is the one that rescues the church folk when they're in trouble. So we want to deal with the Christian front line on tonight. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And I began to seek God and say, God, what are some characteristics that we need being on the front line? And he said, first of all, you need vision. You need vision. And this Samaritan man had vision. The priest and the Levite, they also had vision. But I want to believe that their vision was distorted by something.
Yes.
I believe that they were too worried about what people would say if they went over to help this man have theirs. They were too busy about their title. Over building up a wall to protect this man. The Good Samaritan saw the wounded man laying by the wayside. And when I looked up vision, it says the act or power of anticipating that which will or may come to be. A prophetic vision. That man had a vision that if he did not help this wounded man, that he was going to die right in the mess that he was in. What I like about the Samaritan man, that he didn't see Hamashanda Bosheke, but he saw somebody in need. Hallelujah. We got a lot of seeing when we in see. But when our brother and sister are overtaken in a fault, we that speak in tongues don't do nothing about it. What's up with the front line? Look at somebody and say, don't leave me like that. Don't leave me. Don't leave me like that. The Good Samaritan saw the man dying by the wayside, and he was not too preoccupied on his own business. I got my own stuff, girl. I got my own husband issues. I can't help her with her marriage. Dying. Laying in the blood. Naked. He ain't covered by nothing but the front line. Ain't even there to assist him. So we must have vision when we on the front line. We got to see the enemy when he's coming to attack. We got to see the enemy when he's plotting, when he's scheming. We got to have the gift of discernment. Somebody up in the church in order to see the enemy with his tactics on the front line. Yes, he could see this man was suffering, a fellow traveler on the wayside. Another thing that the Lord told me is that we got to have compassion to be on the front line. If you ain't got no compassion, you in the wrong business, baby. In the words of my pastor last week, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road and don't you come back no more. Because you're going to get all us killed up in here. You ain't looking for nothing? I'm sorry. You're not looking for anything?
That's all right.
The Good Samaritan had compassion on the wounded man. He was feeling deep sympathy and sorrow for this man, stricken by misfortune, accompanied by a strong desire to alleviate the man's suffering. Something in him quickened.
Yes.
What's wrong with the front line? We don't quicken no more, prophetess. We arrived. We ain't got the quickening power.
My God.
We ain't got the power to see what happened to the front line. Tap somebody else and say, don't leave me like this. Don't leave me without vision. Don't leave me without some compassion. Jesus had compassion, so why can't we have compassion for each other on the front line? Joshua, I ain't gonna do that tonight. Why can't we have compassion on the front line? The Good Samaritan had compassion on the wounded man. The priest and the Levite did not have compassion, even though they saw this man wounded. The evangelist saw me crying. The evangelist saw my kids going astray. The pastor saw me getting ready to get put out. The teacher heard that I needed some more education.
You better stop it, I say.
The pastor knew that I needed some stability. And they left me by the wayside, dying.
My God.
Naked. And ashamed.
My God.
Ask somebody, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong with the front line?
What's wrong with the front line?
We messed up right now, but I'm messed up right now, but don't leave me like that.
Don't leave me like that.
I found myself in the priest position before, but help me, don't leave me like that. Show me some compassion to get me back up and in the right position. Don't leave me like that. Never look down on a person unless you're picking them up. Never look down on a person. I can remember a few years ago, we were at a funeral and they walking by. You know how they do. They walk by the casket. Look at now. Your family on the front row, but they so busy. He done lost a lot of weight. The church folk, the front line. They ain't worried about consoling you. Hallelujah. But we should never look down, because we can find ourselves in that same situation, and we're going to need somebody to pick us up out of the pit. We're going to need somebody to give us a little something to get from point A to point B. We're going to need somebody to pray us through. I dare somebody to shout like Samson and say, strengthen me one more time, God. I won't mess up this time. I won't fall for this time. Strengthen me. Strengthen me. Hallelujah. What I like about this Samaritan man is that he had association with the wounded. He associated with the broken. Our nose too far up in the air on the front line because we think our shirt whiter than the next person's shirt because they use Clorox and you use OxyClean. Baby, you feel a mess just like the rest of us. What happened to the front line? What happened to you pray for me and I pray for you? What happened to I need you to survive? He associated with this man. He formed an organization with a common purpose, having formal structure. The Good Samaritan went near the wounded man and associated himself with him by helping him. He put himself in that man's position. He felt his pain. He felt his grief. He did not consider himself to be more